All over our cities, along our coastlines and across our green and pleasant land, an invisible army is fighting a never-ending war. Their enemy is the filth that we create and the vermin that thrive on it. Welcome to the hidden world of the grime fighters. On Grime Fighters tonight, extreme cleaner Steve decides not to take a bath.
Full of cat feces.
Grimsby Enforcement Officer John meets and greets.
Now go away.
And Wolverhampton litter picker Lou says, I have a dream.
In the future, when I'm retired, there'll be no grime.
In Enfield, North London, extreme cleaner Nick has been called to a private flat.
At the moment, we're unsure exactly what is behind these doors, but we do know the RSPCA have been here and taken cats away. The guess is it's going to be in quite a bad state.
Nick doesn't have to look for any clues. The problems are obvious.
Well, yeah, it's quite an odour in here, let's put it that way. Floor space is limited as well, because there's quite a lot of, vodka bottles, to be fair. I think this person who ever lived here has been a bit of a drinker.
Nick has to quote a price for cleaning and clearing the flat now that the tenant has been evicted. Whoever lived here clearly liked to drink and was very partial to cats. Lots and lots of them.
The first thing I'm pointing out here is the bath, which is absolutely horrendous. It is absolutely chock-a-block with cat faeces. That is pretty horrendous. You've got cat mess all around the floor. How someone could live like this, I do not know. Probably have to drink a lot of vodka to be in this place anyway.
The living room isn't much fun either.
There again, vodka bottles, more cat mess, infestation of flies here. This is really bad. I mean, that is gross. All of this is going to have to be cleared. It's a big job, this one. It's not a big flat, but this is a big job.
And then there's the bedroom, and finally the kitchen.
It's a little bit cruel on the animals, looking at that respect as well. We've got a pretty grimy fridge. I mean, there's things living in this fridge.
This flat tells a depressing story, but Nick is determined to give it a happy ending.
It's quite rewarding when you've actually done something good. Something good's come out of this, in the end. And then hopefully someone, a family or an individual can come back here and live a normal life in a normal environment. That's the idea.
But cleaning up all this is going to be pricey.
It's not going to be a cheap job, and it's not going to be a quick job, but it's got to be done properly. Because eventually someone can live back in here, but it's going to be a bit of time before they can even consider coming back in here.
Nick will now work out the cost of the job and hope the owner will agree the contract. It's 9 a.m. in Grimsby, and Enforcement Officer John, known as the Sheriff of Grimsby, has a giant-sized problem to deal with in a local car park. But nothing phases our John.
The problem we're here to deal with is this behind me, a metal storage container. We've known about it for some time. We've spoken to the alleged owner or keeper of it. It is in a public right-of-way. My job today, unfortunately, is to remove it to a correct storage location.
Just get rid of it is John's first thought, but it's not that simple.
What we've got to do is break into it because I'm not able to permit, obviously, the carrying of anything hazardous. So we're just about to get the contract to cut the locks, and then we'll see what's inside and take the appropriate action.
This is definitely not a case of hey presto.
We check the locks out. We now find that it's got a central lock that is pretty substantial.
It's going to take some getting in. But I'm sure you got it sorted, haven't you, John?
We're just waiting for the correct equipment to come up, which will be here in the next 5 or 10 minutes, and we'll cut the lock, and then we can see what we're dealing with.
The delay attracts those with time on their hands.
Now go away.
John decides to give those responsible for the container a final warning.
No, it doesn't appear that anyone's home at the moment.
It's a futile attempt, and John knows the local mood is against him. This could get rather tricky.
Well, I think that's the sad way that society seems to have gone, but hopefully, not just me, but many people like me, we plough on, we go on, we strive to hopefully someday restore some form of order.
John is heavily outnumbered. The Sheriff of Grimsby calls for a posse.
Well then, lads.
When it looked as if a key wasn't necessary, it appears. But then, another problem.
It can't actually be moved in its current condition because there's an extremely strong smell of petroleum spirit. Certainly there are flammable materials in there mixed with flammable substances. I'm surprised that it's not already burst into flames of its own accord, to be honest, because there is the right mixture in there to cause that.
The fire brigade will have to make sure it's safe. But that will take time, and the mood of the crowd isn't improving. John still doesn't know if the contents are dangerous. In Enfield, the owner of the one-bed flat has accepted Nick's quote, so he can start the work immediately. It's good news for Nick, but he doesn't have to do the work. That's for Steve, Bertram and Dave. Bertram is not impressed.
Now we're getting to see the full view of it, and it is really outstanding mucky.
The flat was home to a multitude of cats, so Steve must take precautions before the boys can start the clear-up.
Just spraying in case any fleas in here. Cats, dogs cause fleas and that, so you can never be too careful.
Bertram's found some unwelcome visitors in the bedroom.
Bed bug, they go inside your clothes, go home with you, inside your bed, so the first thing you have to do is kill them.
It may seem a tough way to earn a living, but not for Bertram.
I look forward to all this type of job. That's a job really I specialize in most of all, because I enjoy doing it, going inside, see something like this, get to read all the bugs, and look forward to do many more.
While Brian starts to clear the hoard of vodka bottles, Steve tries to work up an appetite.
Steve getting that sandwich for his lunch in the fridge for about 2 years.
It's my favourite sandwich, chicken and stuffing. Can't beat this, with a bit of meal.
Bertram soon finishes spraying.
So now I think the place is sanitized and good for us to go on do our job.
Now the boys can get stuck in. Steve's wasting no time in the kitchen.
The dirtier the job, the better. The smellier, the better, trust me. There's not many people really want to do the dirty jobs, but some of us just don't mind it. Like the stench coming off some of these, you know, rotten food, meat, it's good for you.
Despite the disappointing sandwich, Steve is still on the lookout.
Not too bad, not too bad. Oh, you got the chicken. Now that smells, that is a bit bad one. Chicken breast with creamy wild mushroom. There's a little party goer.
Spraying is the easy bit. Bertram's now got to get to grips with the problem.
It's a bit shocking when you first get to it. And when you see it, you don't know where to start. Should I start here or there? But finally, you have to just get down and start somewhere.
Steve is never one to balk at a challenge, but it can still be distressing.
Like the fact people can actually live like this and there's nobody out there to help them, yeah, it does shock us. But there's always people like us around to clean up after them.
The kitchen is much improved, but it's been a long day. The boys can now head off, but they'll be back tomorrow to deal with the delights of the bathroom. Deep in the English countryside, the grand interiors of National Trust properties seem a world away from an extreme clean in Enfield. But the lavish and highly valuable furnishings can pose problems of their own. The National Trust also has to preserve priceless collections of books. This afternoon at Starhead in Wiltshire, book restorer Caroline is giving a masterclass on how to clean and care for these treasured possessions.
I was always the librarian at school for some reason, and I think that I've always enjoyed reading. I think the practical nature of my craft and working with books was something that came together very nicely for me.
Caroline's main concern is dust, and she has an ingenious way of dealing with it.
So I need to turn the vacuum cleaner on. We try and contain the dirt so that we're not spreading it over the collection. And I'm using a pony hair brush, which is soft enough not to cause abrasion, but it's actually very powerful and removes the dirt very successfully.
Cleaning books is a special skill.
I hold the book down into this very basic dusting box and brush from the spine towards the foredge of the book. And then I brush down the foredge and then along the tail of the book. And then I brush the boards and then the spine of the book. This one has got raised bands on it, so I will have to brush this one going across the spine because the dust collects on the raised bands.
And it's not only dust that can do the damage.
We have a range of insects that eat books. We have deathwatch beetle, furniture beetle, carpet beetle, spider beetles, moths and silverfish are the ones that really cause damage. Occasionally also we get rodent damage, but very often the rodent damage is like the sort of contour lines on a map, and we can see on this book where the paper's been eaten away to make a nest.
But we all know what the real problem is: bookworms.
I suppose the bug that everybody thinks of being in books is the bookworm, which there isn't such a thing in the insect kingdom, but it's the furniture beetle larvae, the woodworm, that tends to burrow through the book. Its larger cousin, the deathwatch beetle, also creates rather large holes in books, but the general insect that people think of as eating books is the woodworm.
Coming up, Caroline puts her students through their paces, John summons the fire brigade, Steve's back to tackle the bathroom, and Litter Picker Lou, well, deals with litter. Throughout the country, an army of professionals are continuing to dedicate their daily lives to waging war on the nation's grime. In Enfield, North London, extreme cleaner Steve and his team have returned to tackle the one-bed flat. That's if only they can get in.
Well, it's not opening.
They press on regardless.
We've got to deep clean the whole house. The only room we've got left to do is the bathroom, which is full of cat's feces, and I'm not really looking forward to that. Oh,
Eventually, Steve makes it.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much.
But that's just the start of his problems.
As you can see in the bath, full of cat's feces, damp clothes. Obviously, to keep the cat comfortable while it's having its feces in the bath. It's a dirty job. Somebody's got to do it.
Even for a veteran like Steve, there's something unusual about this case.
First time I've actually seen that much cat's feces in a bath. I've seen a little dollop now and again, but never that much. There's no reason whatsoever on earth why people live like this for. She definitely wasn't using this bath, I can tell you that now.
Steve's not put off by a little local difficulty.
Like once we finish cleaning this out, somebody will be able to walk in, run the water and just have a bath straight away without doing anything. And to me, that's good.
The bulk of the loose stuff has now been collected, so Steve can plan the deep clean.
Just use a scraper or green pad, scour, spray it, scrub it. It'll come off, no problems there.
What's needed for a job like this is a very careful, disciplined approach.
I could be here all day trying to scrub it off. So the best thing is one of these, which is really a window scraper. So it shouldn't mark the bath at all.
While Steve is kept busy, the others can continue with the rest of the flat. Within half an hour, the bathroom has been transformed.
Look at the difference in this. Yeah, it makes you proud, doesn't it? But it's a pity about the floor. I don't know what they're going to do with that. They'll have to get it buffered up or something somehow, but we've tried our best. You could walk in here now and I could use the toilet. You know what I mean? Well, I wouldn't early on, but I could jump in the bath and have a bath. So if I had my towel, I would anyway. But nah, there's a big difference, mate. Proud I've done it.
The bathroom is stunning. Now it's up to Steve to make the rest of the flat sparkle. In Grimsby, Enforcement Officer John is still trying to remove the giant container. The problem of the missing key has now been solved, but John still has to cope with the added interest his work has brought.
It's nothing like having a really anti-aggressive audience, is there?
There's a strong smell of petrol, so John's called the fire service and they're taking no chances.
It might look as if we're going over the top here with wearing breathing apparatus when the container's outside, but the issue is that it's an actual confined space. So as soon as we open that confined space and we actually enter that confined space, we really need to confirm exactly what air we're breathing. We haven't got a clue what's in there.
Prepared for the worst, the firefighters take a look. The container is filled with a collection of motorbikes and garage equipment, but it seems there's no real danger.
Their findings inside the trailer was that yes, there are strong odours, yes, there's flammable liquid present, but not at a level that it's triggered their explosive meters.
The mood quickly changes. The crowd, who had got John a bit worried, now help by moving the contents of the container to a nearby garage.
The whole tone in the area is totally changed now. It's almost become carnival-like. Once it's emptied, it'll be put back on the back of the truck and it'll be taken away, and we've restored things to how they should be.
It took 6 hours longer than expected, but at last a lorry can pick up the container and take it away. At Stourhead in Wiltshire, the volunteer book cleaners are deep into their second day, and it's time for the course leader Caroline to set them a test.
Where do I start the brush strokes from, remember?
From back to front, I think.
Absolutely right. So far, 10 out of 10.
Every book, and in many cases every page, has to be dusted and inspected. Every single blemish has to be noted.
We found some worm damage here, where the worm has come in. It has also got a little hole there, probably where he did enter the book, and it goes all the way through the book as a neat little hole.
They can see if the insect damage has got any worse over time, and if necessary, the books can be treated.
Bottom of the backboard, there's damage there as well.
Reading all these books would take long enough, but cleaning them takes even longer.
Roughly about every 3 to 4 years, the whole library will have to be cleaned, which does take... It took us nearly 18 months last time to do the complete library.
These volunteers love the work.
This book was published in 1750. They've got some originals of Thomas Hardy here. It's respect, you feel great respect about it. Well, I do anyway.
I suppose it's always been a bit of an obsession, and this is brilliant. It's almost heaven for me to see a library like this. And, you know, I feel that what we're doing is really worthwhile, very valuable. I think it's an honour, really do.
Never judge a book by its cover. In Enfield, Steve and the boys are putting the finishing touches to the deep clean. The manager has some thoughts at half-time.
Good team effort today, definitely good team effort.
While Steve has dealt with the bathroom, James has been sorting out the kitchen.
How's it going, James?
It's going good, mate.
Wicked, wicked. That's what I like to hear, mate. That's what I like to hear.
Getting up to the standard it should be, you know. Can't get it 100%, but we'll get it maybe 95. 95 is next to 100, so should be okay.
And it's going to be hard to get the floor 100%.
This is off the cat's faces and all that. Stuck to the wood and every other bits and bobs that was in here, so we've got to scrape it up.
After a few hours of hard graft, they've got a result.
If you look at the state of this place, how clean it is compared to when we first came in, and I tell you what, I'd move in here tomorrow myself. That's how good I think this place is. It's all clean, immaculate, floors done, walls, windows, everything's done. So, in my eyes, this is a job done.
In Wolverhampton, the city's proudest, Lou the litter picker, thought his day was over, but he's been called back for an emergency job.
Well, here we am again. More rubbish.
It's a familiar hunting ground.
Just lock this van up round here. Set the immobiliser. We don't want to lose the van.
While new partners Gary and Sam clear up the surrounding area, Lou shows his feelings.
Somebody could have paid somebody to move this from miles away, and somebody's drove down here, the dead of night, and tipped it here. What do? You just move it.
Gary is learning that Lou's anger is almost always justified.
You can't expect the kids to throw used bins, because I mean, when you see some of the parents, you know, them like throwing all the rubbish all over the floor. As the kids get older, I think they can do the same. That's the reason why we've got this problem now.
And Sam is keen to join in.
You can never win around here. You know, you clean up, and a few days after, you're just as back to normal. Obviously, they don't care. They don't care how they leave. You know, because if they did care, they wouldn't live in such a mess all the time.
Back at the sharp end, things aren't improving.
It's a right mess, so I'm going to have it on the back of this wagon, because that's my job. Yeah, I'm just a proud old litter picker from Wolverhampton. just having a bit of fun.
Lou has a real thing about cheap black bags.
They're very thin, inferior bags. Plus, if there's food in there, you'll get magpies, crows, foxes, badgers, hedgehogs, and the one I haven't mentioned is the worst one of the lot, rats. You'll get people ring up, there's rats by my house. Why have I got rats? They should come to the back doors and look in the back passage. They'll know why they've got rats then.
Lou has seen enough rubbish to last a lifetime.
Hopefully, in the future, people will recycle. You'll get a tin of Tango like that. That's aluminium. That could go to the scrapyard and be melted down. And next week, it's foil. And that's wrapped round your chicken. Then you chuck your foil in the bin. Not like these people. They chuck the can on the road. But I'm here, I pick it up. That's my job.
Even on days like this, Lou has some sunny moments.
Never in 1,000 years would I think, well, I'm going to clear rubbish off the street, and this is what I'm doing. And do you know, I enjoy it. Do you know why? Because we're fighting the grime. That's what it's all about. And one day, hopefully, in the future, when I'm retired, there'll be no grime.
With the whole area cleared, Lou and the boys can call it a day.
I'm happy with today. I've time for knocking off now. See you all, me old muckers.
Since the filming of the show, Steve's work on the flat was good enough to attract a new tenant. John's finally seen the back of that great big container, and Lou's heading home to try to forget all about litter.